What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is going to be your review for the Real Housewives of New York, season 14, episode 3. I think it should be season 1, episode 3, but nobody asked me my opinion. Anyway, we are still in the Hamptons, and it is the next morning. Jessel is complaining. That is what we left her last episode, complaining. She said that it is cold. Now, listen, if it's cold, I'm going to just be real. It's cold. Okay, if it's cold, it is cold. But I just think Jessel has a way of complaining about things where it's just unrelenting. Like, you can say, listen, it's cold. Oh my goodness, it was cold last night. And Erin already feels bad. She says, oh my gosh, I have these ladies here and the heat isn't working. Like, boom. But of course, she has to turn it into a whole thing. Then we find out that Jenna had left the night before because the ladies were partying too loud. Jenna said she had a 6:30 call and she had to leave. Now, they're upset because she was just going to walk out and she wasn't going to say anything. Jenna, I do believe that that was rude. But let me say this, and I am not diagnosing nobody, okay? But I honestly feel like Jenna has anxiety issues. And she already said before that she doesn't, she's never had a girls trip. She doesn't remember the last time she slept over at anybody's house if it wasn't like a rendezvous situation. And I feel like she was awkward. I feel like maybe her feelings were a little hurt by Jessel and the lingerie situation. And I think that she was leaving because she didn't want to make a whole thing out of it. Was it rude? Yes. But I don't think Jenna was being rude. I think Jenna was dealing with her anxiety or her awkwardness or uncomfortableness in that moment. Now, that's just my opinion. I didn't feel like she was purposefully being rude. She literally was back before breakfast the next day, right? The ladies were still in their pajamas and she walked in the door. I do believe she had a work call and she said, look, y'all were loud, y'all were playing music. I didn't want to stop the party, so I was just going to leave. I didn't want to interrupt. And I do think her thought process was pure. I do. Now, in the interim, Erin was gonna get up and cook breakfast for everybody, but then she didn't because Jenna said that eating breakfast before a workout would have made her throw up, so she really didn't want to do that. And so, but my thing was, and I agree with Jenna. She was like, "But girl, we are all grown. Like, you didn't have to not cook because of me. Like, I just didn't have to eat, But I will say this: when Jenna showed up, she had coffee for everybody, and she had looked like she had maybe muffins or bagels or something. So she didn't walk in empty-handed. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm biased because I really do like Jenna, but I think it might be a little bit of that, but it also may be like some legit, situations. So anyway. The trainer shows up and he is a nice piece of chocolate, and immediately the model, I can't think her name, she immediately starts flirting, right? She is flirting with the man. On one hand, listen, go for what you know. On the other hand, I'm like, girl, you looking a little thirsty. And they're outside working out and Bryn shows up. Brent knows the trainer and she starts flirting. So now you got two women flirting with this man. And he was, on one hand, he was handling it well, but I think he might have been a little bit like, but he was handling it. He was handling it well, child. They work out and Bryn is the life of the party, right? She shows up in this, this fur coat in a sweatsuit fur coat, and she, I'm sorry, and they had this whole workout situation. It looked like it was fun. Everybody was having fun with it. It was cool. It was a good moment. Nobody was arguing. Nobody was complaining. They were just in the moment having a good time, right? Now, in the meantime, Bryn is upset because Bryn feels like, I got cursed out because I chose to go to a different restaurant, and Jenna gets to leave in the middle of the night and like there's no issue. Like, I feel like what Jenna did is way worse than what I did, but it seems like there's no consequences for her. Now, Jenna did apologize to Erin. They had a whole moment and Erin accepted her apology. So Bryn is having this conversation with model girl. I don't know why I can't remember her name, but I love you anyway. And they are going to lunch, right? So the ladies are dressed to the nines to go to lunch. Um, Cause it's the Hamptons, child, and why not? I mean, y'all already know Cy gonna dress. Cy bought 5,000 outfits, okay? And it was funny because they're having a whole photo shoot, and Jenna is like, miraculously, they found all this khaki that they didn't know they had when it was time to have my khaki party, but nevertheless. So they go to lunch, and Cy is starving. She said, listen, Aaron ain't fed us since we've been here, right? We ain't had breakfast. All we had last night was caviar. Like, they did go to dinner, but she was like, girl, I am starving, okay? So they're having lunch, and Bryn, everybody gets up to go to the bathroom. Y'all know how women are. One person gets up, everybody got to go. So Bryn once again starts this conversation about how, you know, Jenna and Aaron are BFFs, even after Jenna was so rude to Aaron, and how could she do it? And Aaron was like, girl, what are you talking about? She's like, I mean, you were ready to, you know, throw me away because I, you know, wanted to go to a different place for dinner. Jenna leaves your house in the middle of the night, and it's like, it's okay, like nothing, Jenna can do no wrong, Jenna can do no wrong. And Aaron was like, what are you talking about? She apologized, I accepted her apology, I don't know what else you want. And Bryn, that is the difference. Like, y'all situation just carried, whereas Aaron, I mean, Jenna was like, I apologize. And yes, people can move on with an apology without a lot of excuses or explanation or something extending. But Brand is still carrying on, and Aaron was like, girl, I can't believe you holding on to this. Like, you really making this a thing, you know, which Brand is. And I feel like it's going to continue to be a thing because Brand really seemed like she's in her feelings about this whole situation. So they leave lunch, go back to the house, and they're going to have a formal dinner with the chef and everything. So they all getting dressed up again for dinner with the chef, and they're sort of just having some, you know, some wind down time. And they convinced Jenna to dress up for dinner because Jenna is comfortable in her jeans and her button-up shirts. Now Jenna's thing is, listen, I used to dress like that when I was trying to impress a man, when I was trying to attract a man. I don't do them things no more, so I am comfortable in my button-up in my jeans. Like, I dress for me. I don't care. It is okay. But Jenna looked beautiful in this black dress that she got from Model Chick, and she looked really, really nice. So the ladies are having dinner. The food sounded good. Everybody was eating. Nobody was complaining about the food. Thank goodness. Oh, pinning that. Rewind. They did have a conversation with Jessel over lunch about how much she likes to complain and how really rude she was about Jenna's gift. And she still didn't understand. I'm sorry. I apologize. I really did appreciate the gift. And just leave it at that. She was like, well, I mean, it just wasn't my style. I mean, it just wasn't my type. I mean, it's just not me. Like, girl, it's okay to say thank you for your gift and just move forward. And of course, at dinner, Sai, not only was she wearing hers, but she made it a whole outfit. She made it a thing. And Jenna was like, I really appreciate the fact that not only did she wear it, but she celebrated it, right? That is how you appreciate a gift. That is what you do to appreciate a gift. Okay. But anyway, child, they decided to play two truths and a lie down to the dinner. Child, they playing two truths and a lie down to dinner. And why everybody's had to be sexual? You do know that you can play two truths and a lie without talking about your sexual exploits. I play two truths and a lie with my students as icebreakers on the first day of school. And I promise you, we never talk about sex. But every single one of them talked about whether they was in threesomes, whether they like popsicles stuck up the butt, whether the people fell asleep while having sex. Like, it was interesting in a sense of getting to know you, but I just didn't understand how we got here. How did we get here? Why are we talking about sex? I mean, granted, we found out that Sai is very open when it comes to her sexuality, and I'm here for it. She says she be having threesomes and she like to be choked, okay? We find out that Jenna had a man fall asleep on top of her. Not really a surprise. Sad but true. But Jessa, we found out Jessa was a little freaky. She got a popsicle stuck up in her woo-ha-ha. And the ladies were sitting there acting like they don't know how that happens and how in the world could that have happened. Now, I'm not saying it has happened to me. But what I am saying is, I mean, y'all ain't never played with ice and things of that nature? No? Okay. Again, I'm not saying it happened to me. I'm just saying I know people who do things and it's not. I never thought it was weird. But anyway, it was a fun time. The ladies actually had a good time, and then they went out afterwards. Um, they went out afterwards to um sit by the fire because it's the Hamptons in the fall, so it was cold as hell, and they couldn't figure out how to turn on the electric fireplace. First of all, Aaron, it's your house. Have you never used the fireplace before? Anyway, they're sitting around the fire and they bond over the dollar store because Sai lets them know, listen, when you are poor, the dollar store is not cute. It's not fun. And she told them her story. And, she had it rough. She's been on her own since she was 16. She said, my mom didn't even have a place for me to live. She was renting a room. She was talking about how much she moved around. She said, but it made her adaptable in situations because she was always the new girl, right? And it made her determined to be successful. She had to drop out of college because basically she ran out of money. She said nobody else would give her a loan. She dropped out her junior year. And so, I love Sai. I mean, I really do now. I love her. She's spunky. She reminds me of Melissa from The Real World. She's very spunky. I like her. Bryn, we find out, Bryn also has a similar story. Bryn said, listen, her and her grandmother, what the hell is this? I'm sorry, something is flying around. What the hell? Where did it come from? It's like a fly, but I don't know. It's gone now. I don't know where it went. Oh, God. Okay, we almost done. Because I got to find whatever that was that just flew past me. Anyway, so they kind of have that in common. So I was here for it. It was a good moment, a good episode. For once, we weren't arguing over, cheese plates and restaurants that are out of style, right? Anyway, let me know what you guys think. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace. Mwah.